John Dickerson is CBS News chief political analyst and joins us now. Good morning, John. It's always good to have you after days like this because nobody knows politics the way you do. You know, we hear the word unprecedented a lot when it comes to Donald Trump, and yesterday was no exception. What were your thoughts? How should we all be processing this?
Well, good morning, Gayle. On January 6th, it wasn't just Democrats who said Donald Trump should be held responsible for what happened and the events leading up to it. It was leading Republicans who did. House Speaker McCarthy said that Donald Trump was responsible for the events of that day. Senator Lindsey Graham, an ally of former President Trump, said he was responsible. Mitch McConnell said he should be held accountable. And contrary to what former President Trump says now, he said the exact place where he should be held accountable was in the court system. And so yesterday was kicking off that act of accountability. The other thing I thought was, can the legal system handle it? The political system is very chaotic in America now. Well, now that comes into the legal system, which is based on reason, not madness, which has rules of conduct. It's like bringing a horse into the living room. Can you settle down all these issues and deal with them in a way that includes being fair to the defendant? So it's a test, another test of the American system.
John, Trump is still the clear frontrunner for the 2024 Republican nomination, and he still has support from the Republican Party. Where do you see this when you talk about the political landscape? How do you look at where the Republicans stand when it comes to politics?
You know, Nate, in a presidential primary, normally competitors look for the smallest little thing to pick apart their opponents. Tiniest little thing, they'll talk about it for days. The closest challengers to former President Trump are doing the opposite when it comes to the material in this indictment. And the reason they're doing that, the reason they're not raising any of the issues contained in the indictment about former President Trump's behavior in office, which is about the most legitimate thing you could bring up in a campaign, is that they know that the most ardent supporters in the party will punish them for raising those issues because they support Donald Trump or they really dislike all the forces trying to hold former President Trump to account. So you have this strange situation where you have competitors who don't want to engage in the competition for fear of getting hurt. It's like staying on the sidelines during a football game. It will keep you from getting hurt, but it's very difficult to score points that way.
Ooh.
Good
Interesting.
analogy.
Yeah,
Always.
very good. John, you talked, and Bob Costa told us the next hearing, of course, is August 28th. Trump's legal team is asking for more time. They say they need more time to prepare for that. So what is the significance of that request, and what are you looking for in the next few weeks?
Well, I think the significance is there's a lot of material here. It's a 45-page indictment, but the January 6th committee out of the House produced an 800-page report. The facts are all well known. They all happen in public. But if you're going to try to defend somebody against this, and this is a 2-month period where, remember, this is a case where much of the most damning evidence against the former president is from people in his inner circle. And so that's a tough job for his lawyers to go through all of that. Plus, they've got all these other cases. So it seems, I'm no lawyer, and I prove it every day, but this is a case where there's a lot of work, and so it doesn't seem crazy to ask for more time to go through all of the material. So that's the big question, though, is how quickly will this move? Because, of course, we don't just have legal calendars. We have, of course, the political calendar.
Absolutely.
You know, John, nobody can get in Donald Trump's head, but I sat there and watched him standing in court. Former president of the United States pleading not guilty again in a court of law. Have you heard even privately what is going on behind the scenes, how he must be feeling? They didn't even call him president yesterday. He was called Mr. Trump.
Well, I don't have any reporting other than Bob Costa's reporting, which was that the former president is kind of bored by all of this, which is extraordinary when you think of the issues that are at play. These are the most important issues relative to democracy. But President Trump has been engaged with the legal system, former President Trump, I should say, for many, 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 many years. So even though this is unprecedented, certainly in his life, it's been many interactions with the legal system.
John Dickerson, as always, thanks so much for putting all of this in perspective for us this morning.